Okay, it says we're live. Greetings wherever you are, and welcome to Being Your Own CEO. This is a weekly success circle for solopreneurs with a bit of a difference this morning. For some reason or other, my YouTube, when I went in to set up start the Hangout on air, I got an error message that said Hangouts on air is disabled. So my friend Heidi had came in and offered to host on her site. So we're doing everything in a slightly backwards way this morning. So thank you.
We connect our forces worldwide.
Yes, we do. So we get together because we enjoy each other's company and we like exchanging ideas and information, and we certainly have been doing a lot of experimentation of late. So, and for me, it's about giving and receiving support. My name is Lowell Ann, and I've been in business since 1996, helping other people get to what they want to do. So I think it's a good idea for us to just be reminded of our operating principles. Just it's always good to think about them each time we get together. So for us, it's about relationships before business, and an understanding that you can get everything in life and business if you help enough other people get what they want. And that's a quote by Zig Ziglar. Another quote that I've added recently because I like it, it says, business is built on relationships. Make building them your business. And that's a quote by Scott Stratton. Another principle, we stand for positive possibilities and keep an open mind. And we never sell anything we are not prepared to deliver impeccably. So those are our operating principles. And I have a couple of technical reminders just to, I see everybody is doing this, but if you're coming in, to keep your mic muted unless you are speaking. And that way, if your doorbell rings, it's not going to disturb our conversation. And also to remember that within a Hangout, it really is one conversation or one voice at a time. So sometimes we can get very animated in our conversations and want to jump in, and that creates a lot of problems for Hangouts. So just a reminder that it is really about one voice at a time. So as usual, we will begin by introducing our panel members here in the green room. And I would invite people to say their name and say where you are and what you do, and then tell us a good news story or something that you just learned or a discovery, whatever. And normally what I do is I choose the first person who got here to be the first to introduce themselves. I try to remember what order people came in, but that's going to be a little tough this morning. So, Vivek, let's hear from you this morning. And we know that you've had an interesting week past.
Namaste. My name is
Namaste
Vivek.
to you.
I have just come from my Isha retreat. It was a yoga meditation session for 4 days. So that's the news. But I believe in simplicity. I believe in keeping things simple. Integrate, simplify life is my way of doing things. So I'm a software developer. Presently, I am in Bengaluru, in India. So yeah, it's IT capital of India, if you get the drift. So yeah, it's been a good week so far. So
you enjoyed the retreat?
yes, very much.
Right on. And was it silent?
No, it was. It had a lot of yoga and meditation, and believe it or not, food was really good. Someone was commenting that if we were not doing the yoga sessions for at least an hour and a half in the morning and again an hour and a half in the afternoon, we would have certainly put on a couple of kilos within those short 4 days.
Right on.
It was all pure vegetarian food, but as Sadhguru essentially oversees the menu and things like that, he believes in eating only positive food. So yeah.
Right. That goes along with yoga, for sure.
Yeah.
That's been my experience as well, Vivek, to any of the retreats that I've attended here on this side of the water. The food is always just out of this world. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Vegetarian cooking is awesome.
Yeah, we also were shown a video why human physiology is actually meant for vegetarian life, because the length of the digestive canal and so on, it's meant for vegetarian food. If you eat non-veg, it's actually rots inside your digestive canal rather than get digested, because it's too short to get digested.
Yeah, I've heard that before too. Right on. So, let's see. Who came next? I think it was Heidi who came next.
I think I came first because...
Yes, you're right. You're right. But I was thinking of you as a co-host here.
Yeah, okay.
We are using your Hangout. So.
As I said before, after 2 or 3 years doing Hangouts, we don't get into panic anymore, but find a way around if things don't work. So today, your show is hosted on my channel. Yeah, I'm Heidi. I'm in Italy. And at the moment, I'm a little bit with my voice. I'm actually a singer, a classical singer and a voice teacher. This was in my life. My last life. In my present life, I'm a sort of creative website constructor, thanks to Worthy Affiliate. And I'm just doing this wonderful website for our conscious aging project, which we have kicked off last Friday. And next Friday will be another wonderful session with John Freeman about the possibilities. He is a scientist. He has written a book, The Science of Possibility, and he will address it together with the topic of aging. Otherwise, I'm doing a little coaching and doing a little, even garden work, and things like that. And enjoy being here at the moment.
Yeah, and thank you so much for jumping in and offering. But the people that you meet online tend to be the most helpful that you can ever imagine. So this is just another example of the helpfulness that you find when you come here. Isn't that true? Yeah. Okay, now I think Nathan was next. You have to turn your speaker on. No, we're not hearing you. Nathan said that yesterday when he was working with Roland that they had some difficulties. So we will move on and give him a chance to try something new. So Amanda, how would you like to introduce yourself? You need to turn you're muted right now. You need to unmute yourself. There.
Okay.
Right on.
Hello. Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Amanda Chen. I'm new to Hangout. This is my first time. I just downloaded 10 minutes ago. Thank you for Lowell Ann inviting me to this section. I'm so excited. I know that people from all the world, this is really my first experience online, have conversation with people all over the world. And I just started my public practice business this month, actually. That's why I have time to join this section. Otherwise, I should be in the office doing a regular day office job. Yeah. And I'm a public practice accountant, and I provide accounting and bookkeeping service. And I have my CPA CGA destination 3 years ago, and I'm in Victoria.
Right on. And Amanda and I both have a contract with a company here, a care center here, Chinatown Care Center. So that's how we've met. So we got talking about being in business one day when we were both there. So, so I'm so happy that you have been able to join us, Amanda. Welcome here.
Thank you.
And I see there were little comments popping up in the comment stream there where others were saying welcome to you as well.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So, Alana, I think you might have been next.
Hello? Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so my name is, that's great. I'm having sound issues. So if it drops off again, I may have to leave the green room and come back in. My name is Alana, and I live in Ireland, and I have a website called Techie Travel Bits and Online Income and Resources. And so I also do virtual administration. So I wear a few different hats that keep me pretty busy.
Right on. And you're a part of Wealthy Affiliates as well.
That's right. I am part of Wealthy Affiliates. So everything I know about websites, I learned from them.
Yeah, right. Welcome. And I was looking, I saw a comment up there, but I wasn't able to read it. So hang on. Let's see. Andrew, I think, Heidi, I think maybe he may or may not see the little text message. I don't know. So if anybody wants to connect with Andrew, sure enough. Let's see. And I think the last person to join us was Roland. I saw you and Nathan chit-chatting in Hangouts yesterday. So.
Wow. Is my sound okay?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. I'm very happy to be here. I'm very happy to be conscious at this time of morning. I stay up until 2 a.m. at night very often, so this is the crack of dawn for me. Am I okay? Am I conscious, ready? Am I?
You have your face on.
Yeah. No, I think I'm having a very high week. We're having good communications with Nathan, and I've been talking. He's back from his gathering, and I'm glad to be back in touch with him. And he's got a better Hangout connection here with his throughput and internet connection. So we're all set to do some really good things this week. And my son is working on a plugin, which I'm very happy to say is about to be beta tested very soon, maybe today or tomorrow. And I am just very excited about that. So we're going to see what happens. And who did we just lose? Amanda.
It was Alana.
Alana. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And welcome, Amanda. You're no longer Hangout virgin as of today. So, yeah, I'm always happy to invite people to do this, because I think there's going to be a wave of people coming into streaming media. By nature, it's a new thing. And the old thing, Hangouts on Air, have survived the entire tide and changes. Blab has come and gone, other things have come and gone, and we're still dealing with Hangouts. And there's a reason for that. So I think that Hangouts are going to have a revival, and I'm right on the crest of that wave, surfing my butt off. So,
welcome here, Roland. I don't know if you saw the notes, but we are on Heidi's Hangout, because I got a message this morning that said Hangouts on Air is disabled.
Wow. And that's just from your
channel.
Perspective, apparently, your channel.
Yeah.
Did you figure out what the problem was, or?
No, not yet. So this was just,
Well, what I would do is check your verification with your hosting and make sure that you still you still have your verification in line. If there's been a problem, it might be with your hosting.
Well, that's what it said. It said that it was no longer available through that hosting. So I don't know. I just didn't. I did send a message for help, but all this was very last minute, of course. So.
Well, thank you, Heidi.
Yeah.
Also, Heidi, I want to know whether you solved the problem with your Hangout toolbox, because I can no longer use the Hangout toolbox in my lower third and any of that stuff. I, who have done all this research on the comment tracker, lost everything but. So.
Now I have resolved everything, and I wanted to ask you what you meant with has to do with your hosting and verification. What does it mean?
Well, generally speaking, the YouTube Hangout, YouTube Live Hangouts can't be broadcast live in your website and various places without the verification of your URL in your hosting. It really is a connective device. And so if you are verified, then you can stream anywhere, including your website. But if you're not verified, you could have a problem transferring that live broadcast to the various places that you want to.
But what does verification mean? I thought it had to do with the partner program, or what has it to do?
No, it's an actual insignia that goes into your website hosting account. Like if you're with GoDaddy or with your whatever the Bluehost, whoever you're with, requires a text file insert in your hosting arrangement, which is called anyway, it's a text file that you just have to put information on the file, a very specific set of code figures, and then you upload it to your hosting, and then it verifies it. Google recognizes that you've uploaded this text file and then considers you verified.
Oh gosh, and I have to do because it can happen to me too then.
Well, I'm surprised if you're broadcasting live, you're probably verified already.
I was verified. Have done that in the past, so that doesn't really make a whole lot.
But that's why I say there must be a problem with that text file. It could be a corrupt file. It could be some issue with the hosting or something. But it might be something that you have to upload again.
Maybe.
Hi, Jay.
I have to check that out.
So here is Jay. Would you like to introduce yourself, Jay?
Hi, my name is Jay. My company is Magi Studios, and we help people get started in the world of online marketing through coach, consulting, and training. Back to you.
I would like you to meet Amanda. She's new with us, and she's also from Victoria.
Hey, all right. See, we're kind of creating this circle. A circle of YYJ. Hello, nice to meet you.
So I don't know if you caught that, but we have some very difficult, some difficulty, and I haven't figured out what there wasn't time to figure it out. So, and I see there's a note from Andrew in there that says, interesting, just finished his user-to-user session and had no trouble. Other than, oh, there is Andrew trying to come in, trying to send me a message. I guess I better just put a note here. Look up. Andrew, Heidi is hosting. There.
I love live tech support.
Yeah.
Jiggle the handle. Try jiggling the handle.
Try jiggling the handle. Well, so this morning we were.
Can I just still ask a question to Roland? If I have the website for the cards on YouTube as an associated website, is this the right thing?
No, I believe you're talking about verification with YouTube,
Yeah.
which is not the same as verification with your website. All these resources should be verified: YouTube, your Google account, and your website. And there's various ways to do that thing. It's all through, like, your Google account has a specific code that they also associate with your AdWords account and all those things. And once you take the special code and verify everything, it just kind of connects everything and opens up the free way of your communications.
So I hope I have done it. I don't know anymore.
I think that you have already.
Okay.
However, that's just a guess. We can check.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's something you can check.
Well, and I remember doing the verification process in the past. So.
Yeah, if that, sorry to interrupt, but I think because you have been grandfathered,
Yes.
that may be something there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we can look at that. I can help you figure out.
We wake in Heidi's case, it's grandmothered. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
In my case as well.
You know what, Vivek, you bring up a really good point, because there are some features that legacy Google Apps for Work clients have. Like, for example, a couple days ago, Roland, you did a webinar on Google Spaces, right? Yeah, that's right, on Saturday.
Yeah, Spaces is not available for
G Suite.
Users.
I actually saw your post in a support thread. You did, like, I think it was in August. But the funny thing is Lowell Ann has it, because she's a legacy Google app. So, but I don't have it. I have it on my Gmail, like my personal Gmail, but not for my Google, my G Suite. So it's quite interesting, you know.
Well,
I guess time will tell.
Yeah, there's obviously something in there that that has really bungled me up. So anyway, but this morning we were going to talk about exactly what are our expectations of this style of social media engagement. And we've been talking about this a while, and it came up under Roland's session last on Saturday as well. So, and I guess I made a list of things that seem to be extremely important to us. What it is that we want. I mean, there are certain things that we want as hosts, but there are certain things that we want for the participant as well. And I mean, I think, given my choice, I would choose something that that is as easy as possible for the participant first. That's kind of a client-based kind of approach to taking that, but. So, I mean, I can just throw out some of the things that I wrote down in terms of what we want for this kind of thing. And I hope that you folks will respond and or add your thoughts as well. So, I mean, really what I'm looking for is to attract viewers, to have them return on a regular basis, and to be able to build trust. And I'm just realizing there is Andrew, and I was not able to, I didn't see you there, and I see Amanda's popping in and out. So I know, Andrew, that you know most of us here, but Amanda is new. So would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, thanks for the opportunity. My name is Andy Hatchett. I am a co-owner of the User-to-User Live community on Google. We do basically 2 shows a day, 30 minutes. It's a live question and answer for people that have questions about Hangouts, business Hangouts, the app, or Hangouts on Air. That's our specialty. We've got a pool of people, though, that are knowledgeable in other areas like open broadcast systems and various things. I'm lucky I've got a bunch of top contributors in my community. And that's about it. I just run around helping people. We don't sell anything. I do have some rather strong opinions that I will express at times, but in polite language most of the time. And that's about it.
Welcome here, Andrew. It's so nice to have you. I'm a member of his community, and I sure do get answers to a lot of things from Andrew's community. So welcome here. And I saw your note in there where you said that you had no problem with the Hangout this morning. We haven't figured out what happened to me this morning. So in case you wondered where you are, you're in one of Heidi's places.
I had to go through all the different things and read up to find out exactly where it was. You know, I thought, okay. Can I ask, who is your carrier? Who is your ISP?
In terms of my internet connection, do you mean?
Mm-hmm. I mean,
it's a local company called Shaw.
Okay.
Yeah, in Canada, Andrew, our internet service providers are different than the ones in the US. So we don't have like Comcast or Verizon or any of the service providers that you in the US would have. So we have 2 major ISPs, and that's Shaw and also TELUS, which is also a cell phone carrier as well.
Okay. The reason I ask is because my Gmail did act up this morning, and that is through a nonprofit organization in Michigan, but their mail server is iowa.shaw.net. So wow. So I don't know whether it's something that's going on at Shaw, because like I said, I went to retrieve my email from there, and it said that the authorization had failed entirely. So I'm still not able to get that part of my email. I've got other email that I transfer to Gmail, but that particular one is not. There's something getting in touch with that server. Now, I don't know whether that's the same SAW as your SAW or not, whether that's got anything to do with it.
That's interesting to know. Wow.
Yeah.
And I couldn't, the way the message came up, I didn't fully understand what it was meant. I couldn't decide whether it was a YouTube problem or what it was. Obviously, it obviously can't be Shaw because I'm here on Heidi's.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So anyway, let's go back to our topic here.
Okay.
We can all get so caught up in the technical stuff so easily.
Can I say one quick thing to Heidi real quick, please? Heidi, as per our quick conversation last time, I actually sent an email to my university contact about you and what we were talking about with you in Italy and whatnot. So her name is Beate Schmidtke, and her husband is Oliver Schmidtke. They're both professors at the University of Victoria, and I mentioned who you are and where you are, and I didn't talk too much of the offer, but because I wanted you to pitch that, so you may or may not receive an email from one of the two of them, or even a call or something. So,
it would be wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Now, isn't that just the way it's supposed to work here? We this is the kind of support that happens among our members here. So that's wonderful.
My mom always told me that sharing is caring. So
yeah. Sharing is caring. That's true. Right on. Okay, so let's go back to our topic, our expectations of this kind of engagement. So what I had said, I'm hoping to attract viewers, have them return on a regular basis, in the process of being able to build trust, and down the road for all of us to be able to find ways to do business together. So that's the overall thing, my expectations of our social media engagement such as this. But now there are some technical pieces that I think are really important. It needs to be easy and straightforward in terms of setup, and it must be very simple for the participant to come in and be able to find their way around. And I might say that might have been the reason that the Hangouts on air within Google Plus didn't go the way they did, because it seemed that some people thought it was way too complex. So another piece that's really important is that there be a way to market to our various platforms. And I discovered this morning, or yesterday, I guess, trying to post something in Facebook, that I tried to post a link to the Google Spaces, and it wouldn't take. It just didn't go anywhere. So that was worth finding out. So I have found, however, within Facebook, I can post a link to my video on my website. Can do that. And when you post in Facebook, when you're doing an event within Facebook, you can put a link to your website. So there seem to be some difficulties for cross-platforming. Although I have gone into YouTube before and linked that video to Facebook through the YouTube interface. I have done that before. So
Yeah,
anyway, Did you do it yesterday?
Yeah, I was testing it out because we had this call roll into me, and one of the things that I wanted to do was Facebook Live.
Yeah.
And I wound up watching a video on it, and it was actually pretty simple. I forget how I did it. Oh, yeah. I opened up the Hangout, and when I was there were the links at the bottom.
Yeah.
And when you open it up, you had two options: to copy the link or to copy the embed.
Yeah.
And I copied the embed, and I tried it on just my general feed on Facebook, but it didn't work properly. But when I copied it to my page or my group, it worked, and I could see that there was a thing that I did it for today because I'm doing a hangout about it later, talking about it, but it doesn't show the icon or anything yet. I have to be in the hangout before it actually works, and then it shows up a little icon on Facebook, and it doesn't seem to be Facebook Live. It seems to be something else. But what I discovered yesterday is when I was in the Hangout, it showed up that link, and then once I started the broadcast on through YouTube, then the feed started on Facebook, and there was a noticeable lag, but at least it was live. And I thought, well, maybe not be Facebook Live, but it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
The only other way that I know of that I can get Facebook Live is using like a OBS Studio or XSplit, from what I understand. But I don't know how you would integrate Hangouts with that. There seem to be all these bits and pieces floating around. And I was talking with a friend of mine about it, and the way that he was doing it, which sounded a bit, nuts, is that he was running Facebook Live off his smartphone at the same time that he was running a Google Hangout at the same time and doing something else, and had another computer running. It's like, oh my God.
Way too complex.
You got that part right. And if you want to do software demos like I want to do, you've got to use something like Google Hangouts, and I don't know if OBS Studio will allow it. And
right.
It's so just what it is.
What time is your session today, Nathan?
11 o'clock.
This morning?
Yep.
Pacific time?
Yep. Last time I checked.
Okay.
I'm on the same time zone as you, Lowell Ann. I may be in
Yes, I know. I just was clarifying for everyone. Sure. All right. So, so that piece seems to be really important to us all, is to be able to market what we're doing here on various platforms. And another important piece that came up in Roland's piece session on Saturday was that we want to be able to engage with our viewers before, during, and after, so that the comments are really important. And I guess the other piece for me is, yeah, you can do all of these things, but there needs to be a way so that panel participants can engage with the viewers over and above what, the face-to-face thing. So those were the pieces that I decided that those are my expectations. And I'm wondering how the rest of you relate to that. Am I asking too much?
Yes.
Okay, say more, Andrew.
All right. The thing with the event page that made it so useful was the fact that it was universal. Mm-hmm. Okay, for everybody. Since there's no event page now, the way I'm looking at it is it's nice to have all of those, but there's not going to be another one size fits all. Each individual is going to have to find their way to what works best for them. My suggestion is pick where most of your audience is. Forget all the other social networks. Develop something that works for your main thing. Then once you've got that, then you can say, okay, I'm on Google Plus or I'm on Facebook or whatever. Now I want to go after the crowd on such and such. Then try and figure out how to bring that one into what you know already works for your main client, rather than trying to pick something that works for all of these things at the same time, because that's going to drive you crazy and take you years. If they haven't got a universal platform by The internet's been going like 25 years now. It'll be another 25 before it comes along. Anybody that's working toward that, I wish them luck, and I'll help them if I can. But go after your main audience first and get something that works for it. If you're embedding on your web and you're using WordPress, then get something that works with your website and WordPress and build toward that audience.
Yeah.
Once you nail them, then bring in the next group. And it may take a while to work all this out, but that's the long-term thing, the way I see it.
So, I mean, that's the message, isn't it? Is to find ways to make this work on our own real estate, on our own website. Yeah. And of course, a few of us that are in this little green room here are working on it.
Oh, yeah.
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 So,
in fact, I would suggest events are still available. Okay. There's no reason that you can't still use event, hook up the YouTube channel to it, and still do event pages for your presentations and your shows. And all this research thing, you could say, we'll meet on Wednesdays to do the research thing, but here's our main show here. That's something that, actually I'm doing right now. I'm experimenting with keeping an event open. Day after tomorrow, it will have been kept open a month.
Okay, so you're still using. Go ahead, Vivek.
I was reacting to what Andrew just said. Events are not available for G Suite users.
G Suite users, I don't worry about. They are all individual. No, really, because they are all individual anyway. The G Suite interface is never going to be the same as the consumer interface on Hangouts. They're two totally different groups. You'll never get the same thing to work on both of them, so don't even try. That's a non-starter to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yes, I read somebody did say somewhere in the last few days that even if you are a G Suite, and I hope everybody understands what that G Suite means. That's the Google for Business. Even if you have that you ought to have a personal Gmail account, and as such you be able to do whatever you're doing. Yeah. So well, and I mean, as I said on Roland's thing on Saturday, I really like this Spaces, because you can put everything you want right there, all in one place. I think it's lovely. If I can figure out how to make it work well.
I think it may be the reason why your hangout on air today was a bit difficult. It could be because Spaces is one thing which is available for legacy users, but not to G Suite users. So
right. Yeah, I know. I guess we will have to figure that out. But
yeah.
So I threw out my expectations and what I would like to have. What about you folks? I mean, what's the most important?
I would love to jump in at this point. First of all, to back way up about a chapter and a half in our discussion today, we are all part of this construct going on with the internet, and we're all becoming more and more of an integral part of the functionality. We're all working on virtual reality. Is it any surprising fact that the internet now has a mind of its own and we don't have control over these things? Of course we're going to have problems, but part of it is the technological loopholes and problems like that. Part of it is the hackers out there that are meddling with the system and stuff, and the problem of having to fix repeatedly what everyone is considering a good platform, because they're finding ways to destroy that platform. So there's a tug-of-war going on. It's going to be eternal. That this problem is not going away. But we're going to stepping into the next chapter. The most important thing for me right now is engagement with the viewer, engagement with the potential client or customer or just the audience in general. I made it a point not to engage for the purposes of converting the watchers, because my understanding is the more you push your stuff, the less people want to watch. In other words, when the pitching goes up, the viewing goes down, or the pitching goes up and the want to be there, the want to be a follower, and the engagement itself goes down, because people say, oh, he's just trying to sell me something, and they are gone. So although that's not everybody, you know, a lot of people might join your group and say, I know, he tries to pitch this thing, but the conversation is pretty good, so I stick around. And that's going to be a smaller portion of the people. When you're broadcasting a concept to educate people on what you do and what you sell, what you promote, the best thing to do is not to try to sell them. And then there will be the people who disagree with that, but I'm strongly a believer that when people become ready to buy, that's a personal choice. And if you're not that choice, no matter what you do, no matter how you pitch at them, they are going to go buy someone else's product or services. So the first thing is you've got to be the best. In your price range, you've got to be the best. And then number two, you've got to make yourself available and educate people as to what it is, because if they know what you have best, if they best understand what you have as a product or service, that gives them the best opportunity to select you as their choice of solutions. But that's just in the sales side of things. And I'm not a good salesman of things that people don't want. I'm a horrible salesperson regarding what people don't want. And then the last thing is, it is all about the audience. It's all about their experience. And if we can have them have a good experience, we have a better chance of sustaining a conversation and an engagement factor that goes beyond a show or beyond a mini conversion or a micro conversion. We have to keep people around so that they become followers and want to participate and want to be a part of something on an ongoing basis. That's what these shows are all about.
Mm-hmm. I don't disagree with you, Roland. Engagement, education, and all about the audience. And the building trust is really, really important. And as you say, if people finally build some trust, then if they have a need for what we do, then they'll think about us. Yeah.
We've been bantering around for years now on the know, like, and trust issue, and it's becoming, you know, we are becoming insensitive to the concept of the know, like, and trust. But it's still at the root of everything that we're doing. The people have to know who you are. They have to know how to get in touch with you. You have to be in a place where they can find you easily. It has to be an easy interaction. And then if you're not likable, all of this doesn't matter. But if you are likable, then you have, of course, that open doorway. And the trust factor comes with time, when people have consumed more of your data and information and content, and you have interacted with them, you've given them good advice, then they have a reason to trust you, plus the fact that other people are going to talk about you. And of course, we know word of mouth, when people start talking good stuff about you, that's gold. So you have to be a part of the conversation, but you have to have a conversation going to be a part of the conversation.
Right. Okay. What about others? Heidi, what about you? What's really, really important to you?
For me, it would be important, to have a group of viewers who engage, who gives also suggestions, who are able to ask questions, and which we had with the event page. You know, this time when we did the first session, I had the chat on and I saw some of the questions, but it's different. It's not it didn't feel like it felt before. So this would be very, very important. And to create a constant audience, this would be my goal for whatever topics we have, you know, I mean.
So Heidi, I sat in on your session last Friday, and I actively participated in that little chat piece that I think it's called Embed Chat.
Mm-hmm.
And my question for you was, when you were in the Hangout itself, how were you able to see what was being posted? I know you could see it because you were answering. You had a separate computer, so you had two different computers going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not so. Because it's relatively small and you cannot put up the comments like you can with Comment Tracker, you know, you lose them. You cannot really keep track of what is going on. So it's not satisfactory.
Yeah. So just for everybody else's benefit, Heidi has developed a website specifically to host these Hangouts that she's going to be doing on Fridays. And so that's where I went. I decided, I mean, I could have gone to the YouTube side and watched there, but I wanted to watch on her website so I could see what she was doing and how it worked. And the other piece that I might share with everybody is that she also has Facebook comments, but once you make the comment, it goes away.
Yeah, and I don't know if you put a comment in. I had the moderation tool open in another window, but there was no comment coming up. So I don't know where
it went. Right. Okay.
I have disabled it for next time, but this is really a question. How can we, when we do it on Facebook, on the website, how can we keep track of the comments? Mm-hmm. And, you know, in YouTube, you have the comments there too, but they also disappear afterwards. So this is really a problem.
Well, this is the piece that Roland and his brother are working on.
Good.
Stay tuned.
Good.
Son, not brother.
I beta testing for you if you send it to me. Okay.
Yes, we'll all be there with bells on. Yeah, right on. So now, Alana, what about you? What's really, really important to you?
Well, it would definitely be engagement and participation. And I think someone else mentioned having, growing your audience on a weekly basis. I think if you can manage to do that with topics that can answer someone's questions, be helpful, and, chances are information on to other people, and then you can grow your audience. So that's what I would be thinking about.
Mm-hmm. And do you feel that the Hangout process can do that?
Well, I actually don't know enough about it, so I can't really say. I think it's a wonderful idea, and I think it's worth exploring. Mm-hmm. Definitely. And I do think that technology is going to be working in that direction anyway, Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. Does it matter to you where you, like if you're participating here on Google Plus, does it matter to you where you engage?
Well, it wouldn't really matter to me where, but I also think that the more, what's the word I need? The more popular a certain platform is, of gaining a wider audience. So you know how Facebook has live chat. Everyone in the world that has a Facebook account has heard of live chat. So with that in mind, that's probably going to be something they'll be exploring at one point or another. I've actually gone on live chat and I wasn't too impressed. I clicked the little icon on Facebook one time, and it got me to places I never wanted to go, and I never want to go there again. It was awful. It was terrible.
As a presenter.
Yeah, it was an awful experience. Yeah, well, I mean, it was an awful experience. It shows you a map of the world, and you click on these little hotspots, and they tell you what city it is or whatever, and you click on it, and I'm thinking, okay, well, let's see what this person is doing. Of course, I'm thinking about how to make a certain dish or something, some recipe or something, but it got into a very dark and seedy type of live didn't want anything to do with, so I quickly left that. So there's good points and bad.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's that comes back to every platform has its trolls and its seedy side. So we need to know how to avoid those.
Oh, if Facebook is even monitoring that, and so.
But I'm sure, in fact, I know there's a seedy side to Google Plus as well. You could, if you were looking for it, you'd find it. So, well, so engagement and growing your audience. All right. So, I mean, I guess that's, I don't see anybody disagreeing with that. What about you, Nathan? Is there anything, because you're now trying to do something on 2 different platforms, what's the most important for you?
That's real simple. Community. Community is everything. It's interesting that this has come up because in the wake of all that bullying stuff and leaving my life, I lost my why. It was a side effect of all the stuff that I went through, and I no longer knew what I really cared about. And then my buddy Hamish, the one who helped me with all of this stuff, gave me an exercise. And when I did it, I found my why very quickly. It's called how to create a why that makes you cry. And for me, it's community. Seriously.
That's interesting.
Seriously.
Wow.
I know, but the exercise was amazing. Like Hamish is writing a book about shifting your mindset and really finding what's important to you. And that's one of the first exercises. Anyway, I did it. And much to my amazement, I discovered that the most important thing in my life to me is not publishing. It's not book writing. It's not promotion necessarily. It's community. And years ago, when I was still living in Victoria, I formed a conversational Spanish group, and I did it on Meetup, and I built it from 0 to hundreds of members in a few years. And that's what I want. So the whole thing is community online, because I've realized, and some of you might disagree with me on this, which is fine, but the first step in building the business is to find your target customer. And then beyond that, before you even write a book or do anything else, build the community. Find out what their wants and needs are, their pain points especially, and find ways to solve them using your own experience and give them tools that they can use. And you do that, then you have everything you need to write a book. Then it's easy. But before, you're guessing, in my opinion. So anyway, that's my 2 cents for today.
I have to say community is very important to me as well. Very important.
Yes, that's clear.
That's why I run my Hangout the way I do.
I know. Well, yeah, that makes sense now. It absolutely does. And it's really shown me like, oh, now I know what I need to do. And so been revamping everything around that. So learning how to use Twitter more effectively, which I'd never used before, and learning how to create engagement there, and then there's here, of course, and then this experiment that I'm doing with Facebook, and we'll see where it all goes. I mean, we're talking to another programmer about hopefully building a platform that would allow us to stream to multiple platforms at once. Whether you can pull it off is another story. And then Roland, of course, is working on his own project. And we'll see where this all leads. But in the wake of Blab, Blab filled a huge hole in my life.
Yeah.
And when it died, I really mourned its passing big time, because I didn't realize at the time that what was most important to me, it wasn't until I did that exercise that I knew that community is the most important thing in my life.
Yeah. By the way, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but Vivek is working on something as well.
Cool.
If he wants to say what it is, I'll let him let him do it. But
I want to choke it out of him. He's taken his time, he's relocated, he's danced around the globe. Now we want to pin him down and get him to put up with it, you know?
You got to go to India then, and I don't know if the language is Hindi that Vivek speaks, or whether it's Marathi or whatever, but you might need to speak the language and do some bribes or something, who knows?
We're gonna tease you out of it. Tease it out of you, Vivek.
Yeah. I think I would rather show it working rather than talk about it. So that's my way of doing it. So
okay.
Well, you've certainly piqued our interest, Vivek. So we're all going to be waiting with bated breath for the answer to this burning problem we have.
Thank you.
Oh, Andrew is saying he hasn't signed a full disclosure agreement yet. Yes, he has. Right on. Well,
I have actually signed quite a few NDAs after coming here coming to India. So anyway, that's a different thing.
All right, we will wait. We will wait impatiently. We talked about using an animal word for it.
Yeah,
got a whole bunch of names for it, but
yeah, I actually had a comment about expectations and social media. Your topic for today. It's actually I would say that a Bollywood actress has Priyanka Chopra. She is releasing a Punjabi movie in Canada, and the Canadian Prime Minister is going to launch it with her. I would say it's a social media strategy. She is very popular here in social media. I think she is very popular on Facebook. She has millions of followers and whatever. She's a Bollywood actress. But rather than launch the Punjabi film here in India, where she would face fierce competition from Bollywood itself, she chooses to launch it in Canada, where she's not going to face that much of a competition from Bollywood. So it's a good strategy in my view.
So could you explain to everyone the difference between a Bollywood and Punjabi?
Punjabi is a language spoken in Punjab, which is northern part of India.
Right.
And quite a lot of, Punjabis are very prominent in UK, in Canada, in USA. Most of the Punjabis, the powerful Punjabis, are abroad, not in India. So in that sense, it is, I would say it is a great strategy, because she would catch the eye of the most wealthy people who have made their homes abroad and very successful. And so Bollywood is a Hindi
Okay.
film industry, whereas Punjabi film industry is very tiny here compared to, I mean, if you compare Bollywood and Punjabi film is nothing really.
Okay. So getting back to our topic, you're saying, are you saying by this example that what's important is to be able to reach out to new platforms and new markets? Was that really what you were?
And also make use of your existing followers. I mean, she is launching things in Canada, but she's not letting go of her followers. So they would follow, I mean, what she is doing there. And of course, there would be both positive and negative comments, but she is using her existing, I mean, start from what you have and where you are, and go where you want to go. And I think she is doing that very well.
Well, and you're also, I mean, this example is really about really knowing who your target market is too.
Yeah.
Really knowing who your target market is. Yeah.
And the film is also, the film that she is releasing is also about somebody who has settled elsewhere.
Oh, really?
Someone who is coming back.
Oh.
And so it's all it all ties up really well.
Very nicely, yeah. I sure hope that it's going to be released with English subtitles. I'm dying to see it now. Oh dear. So, okay, I'm noticing that it's almost 10 minutes after, and I know that we all have things that we need to get done. So I think unless somebody has another burning expectation of their engagement, I think I would. Roland, you're waving.
Yeah, we've been talking about community. And the thing about community that I wanted to point out was that people have to have a reason to go there. So the cause and the focus of what you're doing in the community is of utmost importance. You can't just form a community because you need a community and you want to make sales to that community. They have to have a reason to be there. Now, the reason that we are in this hangout, and we have a lot of really good people in this group here, and you have consistently more people of the same nature. But the thing is, in your community, which is this hangout, you set the parameters of what you expect, what you're driving at, the primary focus of the attitude that we are conducting business in this hangout. And that is why we are here. So when you form a community, you're going to attract more people who want the same thing. I mean, you're designing your community right in this little circle right here, right in this little niche. And once you have this nucleus, you can share that with other people, and there are more people are going to join because they all want to be a part of this circle. But if you're a solopreneur and you're thinking, yeah, I want to build a community, you can see all the tools and you can see all the avenues, and it's not going to work because you're not worth going to a second time. Whereas you have a foundation in this environment that you have here that's worth returning to. You have great principles, great integrity, and you represent the type of thing that other business people want to be a part of and that they are seeking. Now you are relevant, and it's valid to be here. And the community is something that will build off of the spirit of this circle.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
If you don't have that nucleus, you can forget about community. You can forget about engagement, and you can forget about your business online. Might as well go start beat the streets and hand out some more business cards.
So that's an important piece, a common interest.
Well, your focus You are establishing the spirit of your business in this hangout. It's not just a facility. It's not just the tools. It's not just whether we have all the right stuff in place. If you're not the right resource and if you're not sending the right message, it doesn't matter what your platform is. People aren't going to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's what I was dealing with when I had built the Spanish group. Initially, for a very long time, actually, I kept asking the other people in the group what they wanted instead of catering to what I really wanted. And after a while, several of my friends, a couple of them were co-organizers, they turned to me one day when I asked them the question and said, "It's your group. What do you want?" And I told them very simply in about a minute, which was, I want conversational Spanish, no English except for questions. Instructors are welcome, but if you try and poach your history, because I had to set ground rules like that, because I had people who kept trying to tell me, you must change the group and I demand you change it, and go, well, and I would say to them, well, that's not the purpose of this group, and if you don't like it, you're free to start your own. And some of them did, and they all failed, every one. It's true. Every single one of them failed. But my purpose was very simple: conversational Spanish, no English except for questions. We helped each other. We shared resources all the time. It was never, for me, about monetizing it, although I probably could have, because what it really came down to was sharing Spanish resources and also stuff about travel, because many of us were travelers. Mm-hmm. And it was quite successful. And another reason why I think it was successful is because I was doing like you do, Lowell Ann, which is a meeting every single week at the same time, consistently. And that was another major thing, and because the time I chose was convenient to almost everybody, rather than convenient to me personally. Like 7 o'clock on a Tuesday night in a coffee shop in Victoria for 2 hours. And we did move around initially until I found a really good spot, and we stayed there. Mm-hmm. And in terms of the cost, it was $1 drop-in fee, and that's it. It was real simple.
So
I want to drop it down. If I could impose again for 30 seconds, because Nathan brought my thinking around another thing. I'm missing really the best example here, and that is Andrew Hatchett. He got online with a sincere purpose to help other people in a specific area about Hangouts on Air and business Hangouts and that type of interaction. But that's what he's online for. He spends all his time in his own community building a way to help people. He wants to seek out ways to help people, find out what their needs are, experiment with that, boost and hold up the people who are coming up with solutions, and he's the perfect example of holding up the community. And he's not trying to sell anything, but he's got the biggest community around. Yeah. I mean, maybe not, on a global sense, but among the ones us sitting here, he's been doing it the longest, and he's got the biggest following. And that's what we're trying to do. And so he's well known. He's got his reputation, and he's known for helping people. Well, I want to duplicate his persona there and be very much like Andrew. I want to be able to help people too, in my own way, on my own focus. But that's what I want to be able to do, is help people. So he's a great example to follow if you want to build a community.
Right on.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. I think we would all say, hear, hear. We all agree.
Well, but see, I'm coming from a different place. All of you are marketers or mostly marketers, or help people with their businesses and everything. And I'm the least business oriented person you will ever run into. My saying is the customer is not always right. And if a customer's wrong, I'm going to tell them about it, because I feel that is helping them in the long run, even though I insult them in the present. Yeah. But anyway, the big thing though is consistency. Mm-hmm. Unless my alarm doesn't go off or I've got a headache or something, I try to be there twice a day, 5 days a week. And people, since I am online, even though I'm not in a hangout. They know they can ping me anytime, like from 7 in the morning to 11 at night, because all they do is see the little green dot. Got a question? Ask it. I'll be more than happy to help.
Yeah,
Yeah,
consistency is
I
huge.
agree. Yeah, consistency really is critical. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so it's now 10:15, and we've all had our say about what we think is important, what we need to get from our social media. So I think it's time to wrap up today's conversation with a reminder that I provide a variety of resources for solopreneurs. Google+, there's the Being Your Own CEO community, as well as the collection called Supports for Solopreneurs. So please visit my website, lowelann.com, for lots more resources. Almost everything there is free. So we're all into the education business for sure. But before I leave, I really do want to encourage visitors who are watching out here to get to know the other members in this community, because they all have something wonderful to share and to provide. So let's see. Hopefully by next week we'll have this weird problem sorted out. So this is Lowell Ann signing off for this week.